So a little over a week ago, the Book of Boba Fett finally wrapped after 7 episodes, which is possibly the shortest Disney... I was going to say shortest Disney Plus series, but the Marvel ones have 6. Never mind. So now which is the newest Disney Plus live-action Star Wars series, after the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, and we are getting Obi-Wan in May. So this one was just kind of put in between, and I have a strong feeling that this was put here because they knew Mandalorian Season 3 was getting postponed. Because this really feels like a filler season. It really starts to show its face in some of the later episodes, but I'll get to that in a second. The main plot of this picks up after the end credits scene of Mandalorian Season 2, where Boba Fett kills Bib Fortuna, who is basically taking over Jabba the Hutt's power, I guess, and essentially not much take over Mos Espa, so to speak, but he becomes, I guess, the crime lord, I guess. Not really. It's confusing as hell. And, yeah, I'm going to be totally honest. Wasn't the biggest fan of this show. I really wasn't. There's a reason why it took me so long to get this out, is because I kept putting off watching it. Because I remember watching the first episode and being really fucking bored by it. And the problems really started to show their cracks in episode 1. For one, Boba Fett's escape from the Sarlacc should be so freaking cool. It should be so interesting. I mean, it's probably the most boring scene in the entire show. How do you do that? And also, there were all these people that got thrown into the Sarlacc pit on the exact same day by Luke Skywalker. Nope, only thing we have in there is just another Stormtrooper outfit. Why? They really not have another prop that get thrown there? No, it's a disposable Stormtrooper props. That's all we know. That's all we know what to do now, I guess, with Disney, is just throw Stormtroopers everywhere. Just throw in the Sarlacc. Where did that one come from? I don't know. You think that would have been melted down by now. But he gets out and basically befriends this, or I guess it's captured by this tribe of Tusken Raiders, and he eventually earns their respect, and all sorts of stuff ensue up until the present day, where, again, he's essentially becoming the crime lord, I guess. It's confusing. Teaming up with Fennec Shand. So, yeah, like I said, wasn't a big fan of the show, and because a lot of issues I have are pretty big ones. One, this show completely disregards everything we know about Boba Fett up to this point. Which, if you've only seen the movies, is jack shit. I know the character because I've read a lot of the now non-canon expanded universe material, and I've read some of the new ones as well. But this just doesn't seem right. Boba Fett used to be this ruthless bounty hunter. Now he's trying to earn people's respect as a crime lord, I guess. And he wants to protect the people for some reason. It's not explained. There's no transitional phase to this. I guess it's implied that his time with the Tusken Raiders made him this way, but it's not really implied that. It's very subtly implied, if at all. And, of course, then he's with Fennec Shand, who I have no fucking interest in. This is one of the most boring characters. Disney keeps creating some really boring characters. Rey was a really boring character. Rose was a really boring character. Finn became a really boring character. So did Poe. And Fennec Shand is an incredibly boring character. I have absolutely nothing to say about her. She's the most bland, forgettable character in any of the shows so far. God, it was something like The Bad Batch. They at least gave them distinct personalities. Shand has no personality. Like, I don't get what her motives are. I don't get it. I just don't. I don't get why she's here. And Boba Fett also saves her. Why? I guess because he needed help with getting his ship back, fine, but why does she want to stay with him, and why does he want her to tag along? Again, something that's never explained. Then there's a bunch of other characters that this show shoehorns in. There's some characters we already know, such as Din Djarin, who gets his own episode in episode 5, and technically in episode 6 as well. Episode 5 is the Din Djarin show. It's entirely about him. He goes to tries to go visit Grogu. He gets basically kicked out of the Mandalorians, even though there's only 2 others, because he took his helmet off, even though he's done it multiple times before he did it with Grogu. Which, again, that should have been the only time he took it off during the show, but whatever. Then, Luke Skywalker shows up in the show. The CGI looks better. Still doesn't look great, it still looks off, but it looks better than it did in Mandalorian. But again, it's just, his presence is just superfluous. He does absolutely nothing. He trains Grogu for about 10 minutes, then Grogu goes to be with Mandalorian and he never shows up again. He's on the freaking poster. Right in the middle with his lightsaber ignited. He does nothing. And Ahsoka's on that poster too. She's in this for all of 3 minutes. And again, does absolutely nothing. And furthermore, speaking of lightsabers, why does the lightsaber look so damn bad here? And this also creates a major continuity gaffe. And almost kind of breaks the universe as well. It's kind of like lore breaking, as some people have put it. Luke has Yoda's lightsaber. I'm going to say that again. Luke has Yoda's lightsaber. How is this even possible? Not only did Yoda lose it in his fight with Palpatine, like he got electrocuted out of his hand, he didn't go pick it up, he left without it, so... And apparently in the new comics, which I have not read, apparently Vader found Yoda's lightsaber and had it smelted. So this thing shouldn't even be intact, much less be in Luke's possession. What the hell? And not to mention, again, it just looks like a glow stick. My plastic lightsabers at home, the when you illuminate the saber, still looks more realistic. Darksaber looks pretty cool, but that's about it. Ugh. The action sequences are pretty boring overall. There are a lot of scenes that are ripped off from us. Like there's a train heist. Haven't seen that before. You know, we already saw that in Solo, which was already ripping off the third Maze Runner movie, which came out 4 months before that movie. There's just, oh man, the action, and especially the final fight, which is basically the entire last episode. But the last episode's an hour long. I'd say probably 45 minutes of that is the battle. It's an okay fight for the most part. But again, it's just a lot of people hiding and shooting. There's this one guy who does this really stupid spin move to shoot. It's not like he was dodging anything. He says, I'm going to stand here, just nope. Just, why? And I know people have already made fun of that, but just, why? Speaking of that guy, Boba Fett recruits a motorcycle gang of cyborgs, essentially, in episode 3. And I'm sure all of you know what I'm going to say, because everyone else has said it as well. But, oh man. That chase scene. Yeah, if you haven't seen the show, it's a chase scene where they're essentially, well, they're chasing somebody who works for the mayor of Tatooine, or not of Tatooine, of Mos Espa. And they're chasing him like one of his, like, advisors, I don't know. They're chasing down somebody who works for the mayor. And on these little, like, floating motorcycles, essentially, and he's in a land speeder. It is possibly the slowest fucking chase I've ever seen in my life. It's hard to be invested in this chase when they're going about 25 miles per hour. You know what's a sad thing? When I could see this chase, and I'm pretty sure I could run next to them. And not to mention, those are barely motorcycles. Those are Vespas. Those aren't motorcycles. Yeah, those are freaking Vespas. The thing Howard Wolowitz drives. It just floats above the ground. Those characters are completely pointless. They just add more. They just take up more space. Same with the Wookiee. He's cool at first, but then he just takes up more space. Machete's in this show. Barely in it. And he's a Rancor handler, and I do like what they do with the Rancor. It's kind of cool, but again, it shows up in an episode and it's just a setup for something that happens in the finale. That seems like what every episode is. It's just something happens to lead up to the finale. It doesn't feel like every story has a cohesive narrative to it, which again will be fine because it's a serialized show. But that's the problem with the majority of the show, is that it's boring because every little piece is just setting up for something that's going to happen 5 episodes later. And I know the joke. Everyone said that the best episode of Book of Boba Fett didn't have Boba Fett in it. I have a feeling that was originally supposed to be the season 3 premiere of Mandalorian, and it really should have been. Because again, all he does is take up space. After he gets to Tatooine, he basically just... You could put any character in that spot, and it wouldn't make a difference for the most part. I don't get the decision here. And there's the big choice that Grogu makes, where you can either take the Beskar chainmail, I guess, that Mando made for him, or he can take Yoda's lightsaber and continue his training. I don't know how anybody could have possibly thought he was going to take the lightsaber. I saw that episode, and I immediately knew, what's the point of this? I know exactly what's going to happen. There's no tension here. And it was a little annoying, too. I would have actually preferred if he had taken the lightsaber. That would have been a neat twist. But no, they have to go put him back with Mando because I guess a bunch of people don't want to watch Mandalorian because of the Mandalorian. They just want to watch it because of this stupid little green Muppet. I'm sorry, I don't like Grogu. I know everybody think, oh, it's so cute. Grogu's a waste of space. He served his purpose in Season 1. He was who Mando was protecting. And in Season 2, got a little stale, but at least he still had a purpose, and he went off with Luke, and it's like, finally, we can actually focus on the Mandalorian. Nope, now he's back. So it's going to be the same bullshit next season. Ugh. Jeez. So was there anything good in this? Well... There was Cad Bane. Yes, really. Cad Bane shows up, and for some reason, they try Western duels with him constantly. He wins every single time, which I guess is supposed to be a reference to Bad Batch, where he basically won the duel with Hunter. And so he immediately, he almost kills Timothy Oliphant's character, the Marshal, Cobb Vanth. There we go. Man, but again, that seems pointless because his death is what motivates the citizens of Mos Pelgo, or Freetown. Real clever. That's so dumb. That's what motivates them to go help Mando in the fight against the Pikes. That's all worthless because he's just now in the back-to tank, and he's probably going to show up in Mandalorian Season 3. And Boba Fett just basically saving the citizens of Mos Espa from the Pikes and taking over as a respected leader, and being set up at the end credits of Mandalorian Season 2, all wasted because it implies because they said, oh, we're not cut out for this. So it implies that they're just going to give it to, I guess, the motorcycle gang, I guess. So the entire season was fucking pointless. Good to know. The action at times is pretty neat. Like, I like the opening fight of Episode 5, where Mando goes to take a bounty, bounty hunting, and he uses the Darksaber, and I do respect that he does get injured in this fight. Unfortunately, it's from his own dumbass self by hitting himself with the Darksaber in the leg. And I feel like they did take some of the criticisms of Season 2 with that Beskar armor is essentially just deflecting everything, and he's perfectly fine. Here, during the final battle with the Pikes, both him and Boba, like, they get shot just a few times, and they're on the ground. Like, they're not out of it, but they're, like, laying on the ground, because you can tell the bolts are actually having an effect on them. Like the laser blasts hit them, and they actually go down. There is actually some kinetic force behind that now. Thank you. Because that was really irritating especially in Season 2, when it was, like, shooting at Fennec Shan, can't hit her, Mando jumps in front of her, oh, now they're landing, like, 20 body shots at once, and he's totally fine. Bullshit. Glad they didn't bring back, Bo-Katan. They mention her, but they don't bring her back, which I'm actually kind of happy about. I don't really care for that character that much. in any form. Didn't really care for her in Clone Wars, didn't really care for her in Rebels, don't really care for her here. I like Katie Sackhoff, but I don't care for the character. And yeah, I already mentioned Ahsoka and Luke, they do fuck all, even though they're featured on the poster. Cock tease. The story makes no sense and is completely pointless. It butchers well-known characters, and characters they introduce, they just have no personality. And all this is just one big... this just feels like filler but until they get to Mandalorian Season 3. This just felt like it was here to stall for time. Also, I'm sick of Tatooine. I'm sick of seeing it. We had it in Mandalorian Season 2 and in Season 1. We have it in this, and now we're getting into Obi-Wan as well. Can we get some new locations? God, that's one thing I do like. Something that Mandalorian did better. Yeah, it had a lot of spots on Tatooine, but at least it was going other places. This, with the one exception of the Return of the Mandalorian, no other planets. None. That's bullshit. Oh my god. How long have I been ranting? 16 minutes? Yeah, I think I'm done. This show kind of sucked. I do feel bad. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Why would I do so many videos on it? Yes, I'm going to do one for the Star Wars Day. I'll probably be doing either Diamonds in the Rough or Cinematic Disasters. I haven't decided yet. And if I do a Diamonds in the Rough, no, it's not going to be Revenge of the Sith. I hate that movie. But Disney can't pull their heads out of their collective asses. Sequel trilogy was terrible. The two spin-off movies were good, but now they stopped that because Solo didn't make money because of their extensive fucking reshoots, and Kathleen Kennedy being a dick. Resistance was awful. Rebels was good, but it's over now. Resistance was terrible, and thank God that was canceled. Mandalorian started out good. Then got a little stale, and I'm worried Season 3 is gonna I'm worried Season 3 is gonna suck. Not to say the other two seasons sucked, but they weren't that great. And now this wasn't good. I don't anticipate watching a single episode of this again. Maybe Episode 5? I don't even remember what happened in Episode 6. Because I don't think Boba Fett had a single line in that episode. Oh, I do have to mention, his new ship is a Naboo N1 starfighter. That's cool, it's a nice reference to the prequels, and it does kind of look like the Razor Crest, but there's a fatal flaw with this. Where the hell is he supposed to put his bounty? That ship is a one-seater, and then a place for a droid where he stores Grogu. Where is he supposed to put his bounty? And speaking of Episode 1 references, he flies down... yeah, I had to do a cut there. I'm gonna fix my camera. Okay, speaking of Episode 1 references, he flies down Beggar's Canyon, where part of the pod race took place, even recreating some shots from it. The show was fanbait and a giant cock tease. This was not fun to watch. This was quite the chore to sit through. Also, I forgot to mention, the night scenes in this are so horribly lit, I can't see a damn thing. I thought the lighting in Solo was bad. The dark scenes here take the cake. I can't see a damn thing. I'm done. I'm gonna give Boba Fett a C-. I'm gonna try to be nice at the end of this, but I don't anticipate watching this again. So thank you so much for watching, and Disney, please make Obi-Wan Kenobi good.